Så där. Varmt välkomna till denna kunskapsfrukost, detta webbinar med Coatmaster, där vi nu ska få veta mer om deras beröringsfria mätteknik. Vi har med oss en riktig expert idag, men jag tänkte för er som inte känner till Coatmaster så är det ett företag som specialiserar sig på just avancerade beröringsfria mätsystem för att kontrollera beläggningstjockleken, det vill säga hur tjockt lager lack man har lagt på. Och det här gör ju då att man kan göra noggranna realtidsmätningar av olika beläggningar, inklusive både metalliska och även transparenta pulver under den pågående produktionen. Så det ska vi få lyssna mer till. And with that I will switch over to English and introduce Professor Dr. Nils Reinke, who today will be talking about the integration of non-contact measurement technology with process control systems to eliminate variability in coating applications. Wow, that's a mouthful. A warm welcome to Nils from Coatmaster.
Thank you, Matthias. Good morning to the audience. Sorry, my presentation will be in English. I'm still working on my Swedish. So maybe next time it will be in Swedish. So we are Coatmaster. I'm Nils Reinke, one of the founders of Coatmaster. We founded the company 13 years ago. We founded the company in Switzerland, although we are a multinational by now, and we consider ourselves as being the Swiss Army knife for a more energy and resource efficient coating process. So actually, let's jump right into the advantages of Coatmaster. Why should you, at a glance, as a motivation, why should you have a deeper look into Coatmaster technology? With Coatmaster, you can not only save a lot of powder coating materials, you can significantly reduce your rework and therefore increase your efficiency. You have a faster color change. You can train new people at the coating line much quicker. You can have a more uniform thickness distribution on your objects, and there's many more advantages. And this is not only a marketing slide. Let me also support these promises by facts from real life cases. So let's have a quick look into a coating line. This is one of our customer in Germany, company Stobak Alu Finish. They have horizontal coating lines. They have vertical coating lines in operation, and so they are before they knew Coatmaster, they were just coating their aluminum profiles, sending them to the oven, and at the end of the coating line, eventually, they were checking the coating thickness, and what they typically found was something like this. So they have excess or too much coating thickness at the borders, at the edges of their hangers. And so even if there was enough coating thickness or just right coating thickness in the middle of the hangers, they would lose a lot of powder coating materials to the excess coating thickness at the edge of the hanger. Also, since coating thickness might fluctuate, it also might happen that the coating thickness is just right at the edges, or there was too little coating thickness in the middle. Therefore, there was a need or a big pain they wanted to solve, and they solved it with a Coatmaster that measures the coating thickness right after the application of the powder coating material. And what they do, or what they want to do, is measuring the coating thickness more or less at the height or the level of every single coating gun, and taking these values, going back to the coating line controls, and to adjusting the powder output of each single gun, or to simultaneously adjust the powder output for the one side and the other side. And what they ideally achieve at the end of the day is a homogeneous coating thickness distribution across their hanger, across all their parts. And this is by this they can stay within the tolerance, not only at single points on the hangers, but over all the whole hanger. And this is allowing them to stay much better within the tolerances. And staying within the tolerances results in less rework, more efficiency, more capacity, and also less powder consumption. So how can they have a quicker color change with the Coatmaster? A quicker color change results in the fact that every single powder coating material, every single powder batch behaves differently, slightly differently, and you want to adjust the coating line after each color change. With the Coatmaster Flex, you don't have to send parts through the oven to eventually find out that there is too much or too little coating material on top of your parts. You measure all your parts directly after the application of the powder coating material, and a second later you can adjust your powder coating material. Which brings me to the other point, that you can train new personnel much quicker, because personnel first time in their life they have the chance to control themselves. So the Coatmaster is not to control the people, but to give to the people a tool that is allowing them to adjust themselves, to learn what changes in the coating line results in what coating thickness distributions. This is only possible if you don't wait for the results of the coating thickness distribution for 1 or 2 hours, but to measure right after the parts are coming out of the booth. So in summary, the main advantages is, so first of all, save a lot of powder coating material. You have also wet paint material, reduce the wear of your coating line, less powder output or less powder throughput through the guns results in less wear. Also reduce personnel costs due to less rework, increase the coating line efficiency, and also decrease the energy consumption by not having the coating thickness just right after second run. You want to have 100% first run rate in optimal case, and also train new employees, new colleagues much quicker. So what is the reason for why choosing Coatmaster? There's other technologies in the market or other suppliers claiming, yes, we can do the same as Coatmaster, but we only cost $3,000, or we can do the same but better. But believe only to the facts. Don't believe in me. Don't believe my marketing. Do the tests yourself. Do your research yourself, and find out about the differences. And one of the differences I want to highlight is that between the powder booth and the curing oven, usually there's not much space. So you don't want to have a 10-meter distance between your booth and the curing oven. In most cases, you want to react quickly. And so if you have a Coatmaster Flex, if you don't have a Coatmaster Flex, if you have a measuring cycle of in total 10 seconds, and you have a gauge which is slowly in operation or difficult in operation, it will only allow you to measure one or two data points, and with doubtful accuracy. With the Coatmaster, you can measure in the running line. You can measure each 2 to 2.5 seconds, which is allowing you to take you 10 times more measurement points than the fastest other gauge on the market. 10 times more speed. You can the operation is completely easy. You can technically you can climb a ladder and take measurements with the Coatmaster Flex in a vertical line at the height of 5 meters. Technically, this is possible, but we cannot recommend to do like this, because I think there are some safety regulations which is not allowing you to climb a ladder single-handed. Another point I would like to highlight is that the data you're recording by Coatmaster Flex not only stay on the Coatmaster Flex, or you don't have to transfer all the data with pen and paper. All the data are automatically synchronized with an external database. And this database can be either in the cloud. So we have a Coatmaster cloud located in Frankfurt, Germany. And you can either access them by HTTP coatmaster.cloud, or the data are stored on a local server in case you don't want the thickness data to leave your company. You can also embed it into your intranet and access them from everywhere you would like to access the data. But you don't have to connect, to establish Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or a wired connection to the measurement gauge to retrieve your data. All data are collected in the cloud in real time. Quick demo, quick video, Coatmaster Cloud. You can try this demo yourself. There is a button. Click here to have a demo. I think this website is also available in Swedish already, or English. You can log in and play with some random data. You can find data stored in blocks. These blocks might be called according to your job number, and you can automatically create protocols that you can send together with the coded parts to your customer, or printing them these protocols just for your own archive. And you can configure and tailor these protocols according to the data you want to see in them. You can upload your logo, your company address, and you can decide what kind of data you want to have inside this protocol. So data, by the way, are stored on the cloud 99 years unless you decide to delete them. So in case there's a warranty claim 15 years after you did a job, a coding job, you can still find these data on our cloud. So 99 years is an argument. So if data gets lost after 80 years already, I hope this will not happen, but I'm pretty sure there will be a successor that will remember you can remember my successor to my statement, 80 years storage, and I'm sure you will still find your data after even 99 years. So you can store the data not only in the cloud, but you can synchronize the data with your ERP system. And you can also send the data to your coding line to have a so-called closed loop. But let's talk about the closed loop at a later stage. As mentioned, coatmaster.cloud. Please try yourself and find out how this works. Also on the coatmaster.cloud, you find a so-called library. And this library is allowing you to operate the Coatmaster or to do very precise measurements, precise meaning precise to 1 micrometer without any prior calibration. So anyways, the Coatmaster is coming with a factory calibration that is correct by, let's say, 5%. But with this powder coating library, you have an accuracy in the range of 1 micrometer precision. Inside this library, you'll find all your suppliers. If you don't find your supplier there, please let us and your supplier know, so that we can add your supplier of powder coating materials, and you will find all the products of the supplier. You can press on this plus button to add as a specific or interesting RAL color or product of your supplier, and measure. Also automatically, this application will be installed on the Coatmaster Flex, and you can measure automatically with the 1 micrometer precision. You can, as I mentioned, there are blocks stored on the Coatmaster Flex, so you can add and prepare all your jobs of the day, so that you can store all your data and assign all the data measured to your specific jobs of the day. You can also create automatically notifications and statistics. So in case you want to measure 100 or to do 100 measurements per hour or 1,000 measurements a day, let's say, you can create automatical notifications that by email you are notified about the average coating thickness or the thickness range which was measured by the Coatmaster Flex, and you can also set reminders. So in case the Coatmaster was not used frequently enough, you can set an automatically reminder that allows you to send automatically an email to your email account in case Coatmaster was only used 99 times instead of 100 times. Let's have a look on how Coatmaster can be used to optimize a robot programming. So you can program your robot, test the automatic the teaching of the robot by measuring the coating thickness at the critical points. In case you are not happy with the teaching, you can teach again the robot and measure the coating thickness again, and only after you are happy with the result, you should start with the serial coding of by the robot, the serial production, because you don't want to repeat the error from the teacher. Next, so closed loop. Let's focus on the closed loop later. Maybe one more example. I was talking a lot about powder coating processes, powder coating material, saving there. So you can measure any kind of coating material, and also our customer do. For instance, this is the coating line of a car manufacturer in Turkey, which is measuring the coating thickness distribution on E-coat. So usually E-coat is very homogeneous, but anyways, there are slight differences in the coating thickness distribution even in the E-coat, and this slight differences across the car body can be measured by Coatmaster. So this is not anymore the Coatmaster Flex you have seen before. This is the Coatmaster inline, which is designed to be attached to a robot or a moving X, and this machine you can use to automatically measure certain coating critical points on your object on your running coating line. We found out that there is a much better way to automatically measure coating thickness distribution within a running coating line, which is the Coatmaster 3D. Because we found out that if you are interested in measuring coating thickness, you don't want not only to have the data on the pre-programmed positions on your object, but you want to have a feeling of the coating thickness distribution. And if there is any critical point on your object that is coated with too high or too little coating material, you want to spot and you want to find out where is the weak spot on my object. And therefore, we invented a so-called the Coatmaster 3D, which is nothing else than a coating thickness camera. So you have a camera that records with one camera up to 2 square meters of a surface, and across this 2 square meter, you not only measure one coating thickness, you measure up to 500,000 data points within less than 1 second. Like you take a snapshot of the coating thickness distribution, every single point of the measurement is a valid data point. Actually, the same benefits as the Coatmaster Flex apply plus you measure automatically, and you don't only measure one point, but you measure every single point on your object. Let's highlight and talk about why it's so important to measure the coating thickness not only at one defined position, but to measure coating thickness distribution across the object. The thing is, if you measure at only certain points the coating thickness, and you slightly move these points, the coating thickness result might be completely different, especially across the edges. And to have a real and a strong information, usable information about the coating thickness, you should know the coating thickness distribution over your object. And the coating thickness distribution over a coating aluminum profile, powder coated aluminum profile, might look like this. Let's have a look on how the Coatmaster 3D works in a real life scenario. This is again our customer Stobak, but it looks like Coatmaster Stobak is our only customer, but Coatmaster is used in more than 2,000 coating lines as of today. The only fact is that the Stobak customer is our customer, which is located very close to our company. So whenever we have something new and we want to shoot a video, we are visiting Stobak Alufinish. So here you can see the Coatmaster inline 3D measuring the moving aluminum profiles. 500 milliseconds later, the data are shown on a screen next to the coating line controls. And in this case, manually, the coating output, the powder output of the guns is adjusted. In this case, it's a GEMA coating line or GEMA application. So the operator readjusts the powder output manually, and 1 second later, the coating thickness on the back side and the front side of the aluminum profiles is just right. Of course, we can also do this step automatically. Together with Centema, we developed a nice solution for this. So there's a nice dashboard to see the coating thickness trends on the objects. Let's jump right into the next application example. We not only are able to measure organic powder coatings, animal powder coatings is also possible, like they are used for domestic appliances and oven cavities, for instance, or microwaves. So this is a coating process with the animal. And also here we can measure coating thickness distribution in an oven, single shot, and we are measuring the entire oven cavity. So the outside frame, left, right, bottom, and top part of the inside and the back panel of the oven with only one shot. Within less than 500 milliseconds, you have the entire coating distribution inside the oven cavities, and this might look like follows. You can automatically generate a report again, like with Coatmaster Flex, telling you whether this oven cavity is coated correctly or not. And all this information you receive after less than 500 milliseconds measuring time. Another application example is batteries for the short time. So we are all the parts connected to these batteries in electric vehicles are coated. So the outside shelf, the covers, the cooling elements, they are coated by powder coating materials to electrical insulate the case and the cooling elements towards the batteries, and the batteries itself is typically UV wet paint coated, and here it is very critical to have every single position on the cooling elements, on the covers, compartments, and the batteries itself to be electrical isolated, because this is the #1 reason why electric vehicles catch fire. And you know what happens if an electric vehicle catch fire? You want to avoid it, and you don't want to you definitely want to avoid the root cause of this accidents, which is a coating thickness tolerance that is breached at the edge of the coating thickness. To measure the coating thickness at the edge, there's only two possibilities. One possibility is to cut the cells or to cut the cooling elements and to measure the coating thickness at the edge under microscope. The big problem of the microscope is that you can only measure coating thickness at one a certain position, predefined position. This is one problem. The other problem is that you destroy the cell or the object to measure the coating thickness at the edge. With the Coatmaster Flex, by means of the Coatmaster Flex, you can automatically measure the entire cell and find out whether at any position of the battery or the cooling element or the compartment the coating thickness is breached. Let's have a quick demo on how this works. It's a quick view into the software. So you can measure the coating thickness. You can drag lines across, virtual lines or virtual cross sections through the object and measure the coating thickness distribution across the edge to avoid that at any position the coating thickness tolerance was breached. Of course, this is non-destructive. This is fast. This takes not such a measurement takes not longer than 500 milliseconds. You can do your 100%. You can test. You can document everything, and you can make sure that every single part comes out just right. This is an example or an installation. Yeah, sorry that I cannot show customer examples for the batteries. Just this CAD broad drawing with a battery in the middle and some Coatmaster inline 3D measuring the coating thickness on every and each edge of the battery, and so this measurement can be done inline. We have installations with an offline or at-line setup where the operator can take, for instance, a battery, put it into a drawer, close the drawer, and automatically the measurement shows whether the cell is okay or not okay. Automatically documents everything, and you can do it the measurement within a time or a frequency that only depends on the operator, on the fact on how fast the operator can open and close the drawer. Let's by the end, I'm coming closer to the end of this presentation. There's a lot of powder coating myth in the market, and let's focus on one myth, on the myth 328. The myth is about that a constant powder output of a coating gun is the same as a constant coating thickness. There's a lot of advertisement in the market. Manufacturers tell, with my application technology, you have always constant coating thickness on your object. This is only partly true, and but if you talk to the expert of every company, if you talk to the experts of Wagner, Gema, Nordson, everywhere, they will tell you that it takes more to have a constant coating thickness on the object, because the coating thickness on the object is not only depending on the constant powder output, but it also depends on the transfer efficiency. And the transfer efficiency tells you how much percentage, what is the percentage of the powder coating material amount leaving the gun and finally sticks to the object. And this transfer efficiency depends on a lot of material properties, the powder coating material itself, the chargeability of the powder, and the chargeability might change from powder patch to powder patch. It's also depending on the ratio between fresh powder and recycled powder. It depends on the component itself. Is your it depends on the grounding, electrical grounding, on the passivation, on the roughness of your object, the surface conductivity, and also the ambient conditions, the ambient medium, the air surrounding the draft, the air draft, the temperature, the humidity, and is there a cross flow through your coating line? Is every door in your coating line or in the hall closed, or is there a door open? It depends on whether it's cloudy weather or sunny weather. This might change from 1 hour to the other. Therefore, it's very important to keep a close look on the coating thickness on your object. And ideally, the next step is not only to keep an eye on the coating thickness distribution of your object, but also to adjust the output of your spray or coating guns. And in an ideal world, logically, or the consequential step should be that you that the adjustment of the paint output should be automatically and not manually. So what you should do, or the line should do, is measure either manually the coating thickness, and afterwards the coating line should take those data and automatically adjust the output to the right coating thickness. The adjustment should not be to the right output of the coating gun, but it should be towards the correct coating thickness on your object. And this technology we call the closed loop technology. And by now we have 20 lines running in the field with the closed loop technology installed, and we have 20 very happy customers who dramatically could reduce their painting consumption. They could dramatically reduce the amount of rework, increase the efficiency and the happiness of everyone, every single person in the company. From this view, so we are as Coatmaster, we are not developing a closed loop technology. I would like to highlight that Syntema is the expert for doing the closed loop, implementing the closed loop technology. And I also want to highlight that this technology is compatible with every single application technology, either from MS, either let it be from Wagner or Nordson and GEMA, and it's not only compatible to the and meaningful for the injector technology. It's also applicable to the pump technology, and for both the closed loop control, for both the injector technology and the pump technology, is extremely beneficial to the customer. Yeah, as mentioned, you can do the closed loop based on the manual measurement with the Coatmaster Flex. You can do an automatic spot measurement with the Coatmaster Inline, and you can also use the code data coming from the Coatmaster 3D for doing this automatic adjustment. In case I really went quickly through a lot of slides, and in case I have been and also jumped across some of these slides without giving you the necessary details, in case I've been too superficial, you can book a meeting with me in case you have questions toward the measurement technology. But also go ahead to contact our partners at Syntema. In case you want to learn more about the return of investment on our technology, there is a return of investment calculator on our website. You can fill out in 7 steps. You can fill out data of your coding line, and you can precisely calculate the amount of money you can save by using Coatmaster. And usually the result will result in amortization time of a couple of months, but in real life, typically Coatmaster amortizes within a couple of weeks. In some cases, even in a couple of days. So at the end of every presentation, I'm asking the question whether you are a Coatmaster already, or what we can do to make you becoming a Coatmaster yourself. Thank you for your attention, and so I'm here for you in case you have questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nils. We should also mention that the partner Syntema, we have Axel Karlsson from Syntema with us as well. If you have questions, you can reach out to either Nils or Axel. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask them now. You can type them in the chat window if you don't want to ask it yourself. I have one question to start off. Are there any materials that are hard? Right, is there a...
Could you ask the question again? Sorry, I lost my Wi-Fi connection, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
Is there any material?
Are there any materials that are harder to measure or gauge with the Coatmaster?
Yes. Actually, you're perfectly right. There is limitation to the Coatmaster. That there are applications that are really hard for us to measure. For the moment, these coatings include galvanic coatings, so metal on metal is difficult for us, and passivation layers, which might be as thin as 50 or 100 nanometers, optical layers, and also very thick layers on concrete. Polyurethane on concrete, 3 millimeters, we can also not measure. So we measure virtually all coatings between, let's say, 10 micrometer or 5 micrometer up to 1 millimeter. And there are some exceptions which are even thinner or thicker that we are also able to measure. But in most cases, we are moving between 5 micrometer and 1 millimeter of coating thickness. Organic coatings mostly, or ceramics.
That's still a very big range. So.
Yes.
Men med det säger vi stort tack för idag. Thank you very much, Nils, for guiding us through Coatmaster and everything you can do.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.